January the 22nd, I guess the Lord had me in the right place, the right time, with the right commitment. I was president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And then we had agreed that, and I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed, after they signed their names to a petition, that we were going to march as a teacher group. And so on January 22nd, we met at Clark Elementary School here, which was the school where I attended the first grade through the sixth grade. We met upstairs, and we marched up a file. My partner was my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade science teacher. His name was Mr. A.J. Durgan. He was the incoming president of the Selma City Teachers Association. And we led that march, teachers, for the first time in the United States, coming down the steps of Clark Elementary School, down Lawn Street, down to Alabama Avenue, down to the courthouse. Teachers, for the first time. Getting down to the county courthouse, that was standing next to the steps, the superintendent of education, the chairman of the board of education, to persuade me, because I was a teacher, to take the teachers back to the school, because we had made a point, and that no longer should we try to pursue that right from that particular point. And I told them we had a right to be at the county courthouse. It was our courthouse. We were not backing down from our right to be there. And I asked the superintendent and the chairman of the board, who signed my check, to step aside. We went up those steps. Jim Clark had his deputies across the door, and he indicated that we were trying to make a mockery out of his courthouse. And we indicated to him that that was our courthouse also. He gave us 1 minute to move off of those steps. At the expiration of that minute, he took the billy club and jabbed us down the steps on the sidewalk. And my partner, Mr. A.J. Durgan, who, as I said, was my teacher, he was not quite used to that stuff like I was. And he asked me on the ground, he said, "What shall we do?" I said, "We are going back." He said, Yeah. And so we went back the second time. We jabbed down the steps after a minute, and he asked me the same question. I gave him the same answer, and he gave me the same response. The third time, when I really was trying to get all the teachers arrested, because teachers were not aware of the tremendous influence. They were the largest black professional group here in Dallas County. And so after going back the third time, he said, "If you don't get off these steps," Jim Clark said, "we're going to arrest you." I said to myself, "Exactly what I want you to do." And so at about 45 seconds before that minute expired, someone on the inside of the courthouse came and pulled him on the inside of the courthouse door and said, I didn't go in there with him, but I can imagine what they told him. "For goodness sake, don't arrest those teachers."
That's right. Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. Once again, we are here, MJ Reese and Alan Reese Sr. We are here. We appreciate y'all joining us, man. It's been a great week. Hopefully you have had a great week also. The week is almost ending. I like Thursdays because we come here right before Fridays, and Friday is the time to turn up. Speaking of turning up, we will be turning up this weekend in Selma, Alabama. It is F.D. Reese Day. Well, they are commemorating F.D. Reese Day on the 19th. That's Sunday. Matter of fact, let me bring up
celebrating Sunday.
We're celebrating. It's observed on the 19th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Anyone in Selma, Alabama, I'll read this. Come out and enjoy a block party in the community with fun and giveaways. The historic homes will be open for tours. 1566 Marie Foster Street, Selma, Alabama. If you all know that March 21st was declared F.D. Reese Day in Selma, Alabama. So the F.D. Reese Foundation and Salute Selma We are collaborating together, and others. Shout out to Miss Lisa James. Shout out to City Council. Shout out to Hawatha, and other people that has hit us up and that are participating. They have got things done for us, so we appreciate that. So if you're in Selma, Alabama on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5, come by the house. We are giving giveaways, things to the community, because as you know, the tornado hit Selma, Alabama on January the 12th, and it did a little damage. So what better way to celebrate a man that was all about his community, but to give out things to the community, and that's what we love to do. We care about our people, so
And
come
the
out.
house will be open.
Yeah,
We're not gonna do the tours like we usually do it, but you're gonna be able to walk through the house and kind of see how we have it set up.
Mhm.
See a lot of the artifacts and just you know enjoy the historical property in Alabama. Um,
Right.
that will be a national historical site.
Yeah,
So just to tell you that.
yeah, we're
But
working on that.
yeah, working on that now. But come on out, man.
Yeah,
Just come out. Just to say hey, man. Just so
yeah.
see your faces, man.
Right. That's what it's all about, man. Connecting and showing love, and that's what we want to do. It's a joyous time every time we get a chance to go to Selma. So it'll be the same with this occasion. What else we have? Of course, we have. If you don't have the book, please get the book, Selma Self Sacrifice. We have
And
a lot of things going on. We are speaking at elementary school. Matter
see
of
the
fact,
grove.
yeah,
See the
the
grove
elementary
elementary. We'll
school.
be there tomorrow, man. Tomorrow morning. Matter of fact, that's the day. That's the school
There you go.
that my grandfather picture was in the book, and no one believed that was him. They didn't believe that was my grandfather. Let me say that. And that's a
Right.
great opportunity to always go back and speak at Cedar Grove Elementary. And shout out to my son AJ. His birthday is tomorrow.
Yes,
He
sir.
goes to Cedar Grove Elementary, and I will be speaking at his school tomorrow.
On
So
his
it's just
birthday.
on his birthday. It's
Yeah.
it's just we will be there, not just me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's just a great day, man. I want to tell people, man, please come and book you a tour. This,
man.
we had a great time. That was Saturday, right? In Selma on the
Yeah,
tour.
Saturday.
Oh
Hmm.
my God. And the individuals was from Chicago.
Right.
Right. And they came down to Selma. And our tour was the last stop before they went home. And they were so glad that our tour
Right.
was the last stop.
Right.
They did not want to leave us
Hmm.
because they learned so much about the movement. And my one thing my brother and I are going to do, we're always going to paint that picture.
Correct.
So when you leave, it will be a knowing,
Yeah.
not a thought, or
Right.
not maybe. You
Right.
will know
Right.
the truth about the Selma, Alabama voting rights movement.
That's
And
right,
Selma,
man.
when you leave now.
100%, 100%. Book you a tour. Make it a family vacation. I promise you, if you're going, most everybody is north of Selma or east or west or whatever the case is. Put that in your family vacation, one of the itineraries to come to Selma and do a tour. And a lot of the times when we go on family vacations, we want the fun attractions. But I
Mhm.
promise you, if you get a little education, I promise you, you will have fun and get educated, and your children, your nephews, your sisters, or whoever, everybody in your family will not forget this tour. And we're booking up more, and it's a blessing, man. It's work, but it's good work. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Just to be honest, it's good work. So book you a tour. Come to FD Reese Day. We can finally say Mr. Voting Rights is getting stitched up. He is on the way. He getting shipped now. He is coming. And shout out to our team. We went to we are speakers at I'm trying to conjure up the right word to say it, but we speak to juvenile,
Yeah.
um,
Clayton County wants.
young adults in Clayton County once a month.
We had a great time last night.
Last night was
Beautiful
great.
time.
Last night was
Beautiful
great.
time. Had some
Right.
great responses from the young people.
Hmm.
They were very
Hmm.
engaged, and the thing about it, what I love about doing that, me, Andre, I love being intimate. I love face to
Right.
face. That's why I love the tour. I'm gonna retire doing the tours. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm gonna tell my
Every time.
kids, Y'all can handle the podcast or everything else. Just let daddy do the tours. But
Right.
I love situations that we could be one-on-one. And for those kids, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17,
Mm-hmm.
to recognize, because what my brother and I do, we ask them what's their name, especially the young men. You're going to stand up and look us in our eyes and shake our hands. You're not
Right.
going to look to the ground. You're not going to look away. No, you're going to move in confidence. And so
Mm-hmm.
my brother and I, what we do, we ask them, what is the best, what do you feel like the best quality about yourself? What's your go-to? What you
Mm-hmm.
know is the best quality about yourself? And they'll
Right.
say it. Then
Right.
we'll ask them, now, what is the worst quality that you feel like you need to work on about yourself? And man,
Correct.
we had those kids being honest, bro.
Right.
They were being honest. Then we said, well, how can you hold yourself accountable to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that the thing, whatever about you that is the worst, to level out to become equal to what you feel like your best quality is. And man, they was giving some great answers, man.
That's right.
It was giving some great answers, and I that was pleasing to me to see these kids who this is their last step before they go to juvenile jail, to be able to recognize that and say, you know what, I'm going to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a
Facts.
beautiful thing, man. You know,
Facts. Facts. First of all, I normally don't do this, but shout out to Hawata.
there you
Shout out
go.
to Hawata. She on here. FD Reese, you already know what time it is. Thanks, Alan Reese, Marvin Jr., and the entire Reese family. Hey, we appreciate you. And you already know that, Hawata. We appreciate you to the ends of the earth, and we will see you Sunday. What else I was gonna say? Yeah, you're right about that. One thing we care about is the community, y'all. So
That's right.
anytime we can come in and help, whatever we can do, we are going to come and help. So yes, I
Cause,
enjoy
bro,
speaking. I enjoy speaking. Y'all know I'm not a speaker, but speaking to the young kids is
that's
is
right.
is, is becoming
Because
a joy to my heart. Go ahead.
we can always say what granddaddy did, but what we doing?
Right,
What we doing? What
right,
what did he put in us for us to continue, take the mantle and continue it on? You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it just don't stop with Frederick Douglass Reese Sr.
Right,
That bloodline continues to move. You
correct,
know what I'm saying? And it's
correct,
and we have to walk in that, you know.
correct.
It's our job, man. It's our purpose.
And
But
I
yeah,
give
man, I enjoy
y'all
it. I really
give
do.
y'all know we just did a class to for voter registration.
Yes,
So
that's
we
right.
can
Learn the
so we
rest.
can sign people up to vote. So it's real. It's real to us, and we gonna keep moving forward. So we literally just got off the class 15 minutes before we started the podcast. So it's a joyous thing to be able. People always ask us, "How does it feel?" I feel honored to be able to be in a position to do this type of work. It just is what it is. So yeah, every Reach Day, get the book the tours. Y'all know what time it is. At the top of every show, we always go to Miss First Nurse, Kimberly Reese. She
That's
gonna come
right.
and give us our health segment. She gonna come and drop them jewels for us. So we will be back. Okay, yeah, we'll be back in 30 seconds. When I say 30 seconds, 30 seconds. First Nurse Kimberly Reese will be here with the health segment. So don't go nowhere. What's going on, Kim?
Hey MJ, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Now you hold on, you rolling this weekend too, ain't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. Okay. All
Yes.
right. Let me get on out the way. So what you got for us today?
Where you can't see it now, but it's
Yeah.
so
There
yeah,
you
the
go.
rather.
Represent.
Hello everyone. Happy Thankful Thursday. I'm happy to be here and give you your weekly dose of health information. So as a race, you guys know we're known to be trendsetters. We set trends with our hairs, clothes, makeup. It's just we're just proud to be black. And with music, the way we dance. But I would like to say this: although we are trendsetters, black qualities features such as our hair, full lips, curves were not always popular and acceptable in society. For many years, blacks, particularly black women, would spend thousands of dollars on hair products such as perms or weave to meet the status quo to look a certain way in the workplace. Recent studies have shown that perms are linked to higher risk of getting uterine cancer. So this brings me to my topic. How much how much cost are you willing to spend in the name of beauty? So that's the topic. And I'm going to do a segment with hair. Going forward, I'll probably spend topic on beauty and health. So this week segment is with hair in particularly. So as you see, we spend of millions of dollars on hair, trying to figure out which hair product works for us. A recent article written by Ronald V. Miller Jr. Um, states that chemical hair relaxers, also known as perm products, routinely used by majority African American women in the U.S. Scientific research has recently established that the chemicals in relaxers can cause endometriosis, infertility, and other serious health conditions. Lawsuits are now being filed by women who may have developed endometriosis. Phthalate is a dangerous chemical used to make plastic and is found in hair products such as perm. And as you see, this is the chemical compound of this dangerous chemical. They're often used to make plastic, as I mentioned before. Is in hundreds of products such as flooring, lubricant oils, and personal products such as soaps and shampoos and hair products. So, what is DEPH? DEPH is a type of phthalate found in most hair relaxers that is particularly harmful. When DEHP enters the body, it breaks down into various metabolites and many which are highly toxic. DEPH and its metabolites are known to cause a lot of health effects, including, as I mentioned before, endometriosis, developmental abnormalities, reproductive dysfunctions, and infertility. Hair relaxers are also again they cause endometriosis. It's a condition when the tissues that normally grows inside the uterus abnormally forms and grows outside of the uterus. Endometriosis can be very painful and is also common cause of female infertility. Half of women with endometriosis will experience fertility problems. It's also associated with, remember that product I said, that particular dangerous chemical, phthalate, which metabolizes and is found in many hair products. Numerous of studies over the last decade have found that DEHP leads to developmental endometriosis. Luckily, more and more black women, as you see on the next screen, they're starting to go natural. You see the afros, the locks. We wear weave, silk presses, as you see up top, and the braids. So I think more and more black women are more aware of the cost of perms and the different chemicals that we're putting in our body. And I see more and more black women being more comfortable within their self and wearing. If you don't want the afro, they do at least do the straight silk press. So I do see a huge change in not doing the status quo perm all the time, and that's a good thing. And if they do still do perms, they don't perm as often. I've known people to, instead of perming monthly like they used to do back in the day, they'll do a perm like once or twice a year. So it's not as often. Um, Natural hair women, you are not off the hook. They have found hair products that is toxic in certain natural hair chemicals. Going forward, is studies stating that with the next screen, MJ. It's unsafe ingredients found in natural hair products as well, such as benzene, DA, DEA, and formaldehyde. So I thought that was interesting. Um, it's another Formaldehyde is another preservative, extremely irritating to the skin and eyes. It's also known for animal carcinogens, meaning it could cause cancer, and may increase cancer risk for humans as well. Keep in mind that certain preservatives releases formaldehyde. So that's another thing I pointed out, like that was stood out to me rather. You're trying to be natural, but it's still in certain natural product with hair, it's still a lot of chemicals. So my advice would be is, in conclusion, just read your products, try to stay as natural as possible, go with your natural coconut oils, and just read your labels. And hence, since I'm thinking about natural health and beauty, I just want to do a tip. For women who wear eyelashes, it's pollen season. With the pollen season, some women get individuals. I would recommend change out your individuals. If you keep those lashes on, the pollen is just going to sit on those lashes and it'll make you have more allergies. So change out your individual lashes more, or do the strips. That way you can take them off at night, and that way you can clean your face clearly, and they'll get rid of the allergies. It just won't sit on your eyes. And that's all I have.
Oh man, you dropped some jewels today. We appreciate that. Listen, y'all, please pay attention to what she was saying, especially with the hair. I actually use coconut oil on my hair now. I ain't gonna even lie. And I think you the one told me that, but
Yeah.
please pay attention to that, and especially our black women, man. We want to keep y'all here and healthy as long as we can, so we don't want nothing to happen to y'all. So we appreciate First Notes, Kimberly Reese. Look, we will be back. Do not go nowhere. Me and my brother top today, wrongfully charged and or convicted. So we're gonna talk about a couple of people that has happened to, and none other than Reverend Dr. F.D. Reese. So
Hey,
please,
Mr. Walker, Anastasia, I see y'all.
we'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
And I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed that we were going to march.
Nice.
We'll stand strong. Where we belong. It's not about yourself.
First of all, serving notice on our nation. It's Dr. Frederick Douglass Reese.
We march. We march. We march. Like to march.
He said, "What shall we do?" I said, "We are going back." He said, Yeah.
We're back. We're back. I know you're gonna say something about the song.
Man, you don't look, man. You got to get it sing. That's not fair. We just the instrumentals and the live instrumental. That's basically what that is. You got to come in and sing, man.
Man, we're
You could at least done it this week. It's FD Reese Day this week. You could have done it.
we're gonna
You
get
know.
it done. We're gonna get it done. Look, welcome back to the Lineage Podcast. We are here reminding y'all it's FD Reese Day. FD Reese Day is March 21st every year in Selma, Alabama.
Every year.
Thank the Lord. So until the end of time, there will be an FD Reese Day in Selma, Alabama. Until the end of time. But we are celebrating it on Sunday, March the 19th. So come out there to all the community, come out. And in spirit of FD Reese Day, one thing when we do the tours, my brother, I open the tour. So my part is about maybe 5 minutes. And then my brother comes in and handle the other, speaking of the other 95%. So I'm glad.
Well, we
I
know
open the tour up.
Mhm.
But one thing that we do a great job at is we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's right.
And so in a specific time, when we talk about the tour around the end before we leave the house, we always tell our customers and our guests about the embezzlement.
Got to.
When our grandfather was charged
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't convicted, but was charged with embezzlement,
Wrongfully charged.
wrongfully charged
That's right.
for embezzlement. So, bro hit me up and he was like, "Yeah, we can talk about some of the people that's going on now that we know. Just highlight when you are wrongfully charged or convicted. Like, how do you handle that? How do you bounce back?" We can talk about after we talk about these two individuals about how granddaddy handled it, and in true FD Reese fashion, man, he moved forward, and he went and he went to trial.
And the thing
Um,
about FD, man,
go ahead.
when we oh, you want to put the picture up there?
About we want to do Grand first or the other guys?
Oh, we go. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you good. You good.
I do the other ones first.
I
We'll
know
end
you.
with
I
FD.
know you sent me this one about the Florida man.
Man, that's
Serving crazy 400-year sentence, walks free after flawed trial testimony discredited. That's in Florida.
and this happened in what 89? What year did he get? Because he sat in jail for what 44 years.
Yeah, I think it was in the 80s.
Now think about it. If they can bring out the truth 44 years later,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me they couldn't bring the truth out or have evidence for the truth when it was, when it first happened?
Right.
You got to be kidding me.
Come on, man.
Stuff done by design, man. Stuff
Mhm.
done by design. That's
Right.
crazy. And then look, 400 years
400-year sentence, bro.
for armed robbery.
Yep.
Come on,
400-year
man.
sentence.
Come on. Now
400
they're gonna
years.
throw some money. They're gonna give him some money. I'm sorry, but think
Mhm.
about psychologically, man, what this man has to go through for the rest of his life.
Right.
He's an older man now, and he
Mhm.
has to go back into society. Money can't fix everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He probably missed out on having kids.
Mhm.
His young man. It's a pleasure to have youth. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And to have his youthful days snatched away from him, man.
Mhm.
That is a shame, and I feel like when things like this happen, the prosecutors, the officers, and the people who lied to the prosecutors or whatnot need to get in trouble, man.
Facts.
They should get those 400 years.
Facts. Let's go to another guy. This guy here, Lamar Johnson, wrongfully convicted man, now free after 28 years. With him though, he was 20. This was in 1994 when his friend Marcus Boyd was shot to death on Boyd's front porch by two masked men. Police and prosecutors arrested Mr. Lamar Johnson here days later, blaming the killing on a dispute over drugs and money.
You see that?
Both of these men were drug dealers, and now, they said that it was ridiculous how they put this man in jail for 20 years because there was no evidence to convict him.
No evidence. And how many times has this happened in our community? This is nothing new. It happens all the time. This is why, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I talk about police reform.
That's right.
This is why, and I talk about the boring topics that people don't want to hear. Not the entertain what Michael B. Jordan did,
Right.
or Angela Bassett got she didn't get the Oscar. She did most definitely.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, see, those are topics people want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll run over jury duty and then cry about situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that us showing up for jury duty and fighting to change that whole process will help stop things like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Police reform. But we let all these activists, these celebrity activists, walk around and be okay with civil suits
Mm-hmm.
and not push to change the letter of the law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Mm-hmm.
This is what gets on my nerves. But guess what? A lot of people ain't gonna watch this video. They don't want to see us talk about this.
Right.
But then you really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the black men have sat in jail wrongly convicted.
It's crazy.
And don't nobody give a rat's behind.
Crazy.
How long they sat in there? I saw a video last week. They show evidence of the man. They show evidence the man did not do it. Clearly, he sat in jail for 34 years. And the lady who it was done to said that regardless of what the evidence say, he will be the man that did it in my eyes.
Get out of here.
You get
Get out of here, man.
but guess what? When a young black man died, we want to march. We get killed by the police, we want to march. And that's it. We're
That's
gonna
right.
march, we're gonna make a fuss, we're gonna vandalize, we're gonna do all that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's time to put some real work in, we don't do nothing.
So what?
It's over with.
That's crazy. So now we bring it back. We bring it up to our personally, our grandfather. You can see July the 6th, 1965. He was wrongfully charged.
Hold on,
in
MJ.
prison.
Yeah, tell this not a march arrest.
No,
This not when him, John Lewis, and Martin Luther King were marching and they
right.
got arrested for marching for injustice.
Mhm.
This
Right.
is when they put trumped up charges, like the great J.L. Chestnut would say, on
Mhm.
my grandfather. And this what's up. This the bad part. Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Abernathy, everybody else, Jesse Jackson, let's name all of them, was silent.
Yep.
And they brought those trumped up charges on the hometown hero, F.D. Reese.
That's right.
Silent.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Silent for F.D. Reese. So, you know, FD he understood how it was to stand up for folks and folks turn their back on you. Y'all talking about snitching and stuff, boy.
Man.
You talking about doing the right thing and the wrong things happening to you when you got a family.
Right.
None of them cared about FD Reese, bro.
And let's put it into perspective. We can kind of give y'all some information like we're doing the tour. Sneak was there.
Mm-hmm.
The leader, Granddaddy was the leader here, of the Dallas County Voters League. He was the president and of the Selma Teachers Association. Now, Selma didn't want Dr. King there. They booed Granddaddy. Now, I want y'all to realize from January to March, pretty much the movement took a stride in an upward situation because of Granddad. The movement had became stale. When Granddad led the teaching march, 105 teachers, as you can see on the little video in between the commercial breaks that we do. That's when it put a spark in the movement. So I want y'all to just think. It's more stuff we can say, but just think. The man that was the leader in all of that, it was a retaliation tactic against him. Because now they feel like, now wait a minute. Because of Reverend Reese, under his leadership, the Dallas County Voters League grew from 100 to over 2,000. So now we got to knock this man down. We can't go after King.
Mm-hmm. He too big.
He's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go after John Lewis and all them.
They really won. They were a non-factor.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
they were there working. They were non-factor.
Exactly. And so let's go after this guy, the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, trumped up charges on embezzlement. I'll let bro tell you what was going on with the embezzlement, why Granddaddy was a candidate.
Well, the reason Granddad was a candidate, let me break it down to you real quick. And I break this down in the tour. The Teachers March led to Reverend Reese getting fired. Okay? He was a teacher in Selma. He was the president of the Selma Teachers Association. That led for him to get fired because he led that Teachers March. All right? So what happened, now that he's fired, he does not have the funds because he has a family to take care of. Well, my mama Arlene C. Reese, you had my auntie Valerie, you had Frederick Jr., you had my auntie Valerie, and my dad was around almost 1 year old when FD got fired. So he got a family. So remember, funds was being sent to the Dallas County Voters League and to the SCLC to help take care of the individuals in Selma that were losing their jobs because they were in the movement. I don't care what nobody else tell you. These are 100% facts. Now, I'm finna break this down to you on why Dr. King now did not come to my grandfather's back when this happened. Okay, before my granddaddy got fired, Dr. King and the SCLC wanted the Dallas County Voters League to incorporate inside of the SCLC, and so Dr. King would have total control. Well, FD Reese, Mr. Doyle, and Gildersleeve wasn't having it.
Correct.
Dr. Reese told Dr. King that can't happen. The Dallas County Voters League is older than the SCLC. You giving us it's about control and money. At the end of the day, it was about control and money. So Dr. Reese and Dr. King was at odds. But let me show you this. Even in that, and what I was finna say a wrong word. What we as people don't know how to do today, even in their disagreement, they still move forward, bro.
Correct.
They still got the job done.
Correct.
Okay. That's one of my issues in Selma today. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Even in their disagreement, they still came together and got the job done. Okay, now back to the story. Okay, now, so Dr. Reese and Dr. King was at odds. Dr. King was mad because FD Reese, because he had the authority. Just like he had the authority to send a letter to Dr. King to get Dr. King here, to Selma, he had the authority to allow the Dallas County Voters League to incorporate inside the SCLC. It didn't happen. So what happened was when he lost his job, and my grandfather was able to be a candidate for the to get money because he lost his job and to pay his house note and a couple of bills. Then they say it's the black folks turned them into the white folks, but however it happened,
right?
Someone made it seem like FD Reese was stealing. Okay, this the truth. Dr. King, Abernathy, John Lewis, Joseph E. Lowry, Andy Young, all them knew FD Reese wasn't stealing. They knew it. But what happened, because they were mad, because they didn't have total control over all the funds that were coming to Selma, I got a letter that I can pull up, and I might show it on the show one day where Mr. Doyle, who was the vice president of the Dallas County Voters League, was getting in Abernathy behind.
Correct, he was.
I'm gonna show y'all one day how he was getting these courageous 8. These board of directors of the Dallas County Voters League didn't play, y'all.
Right.
They didn't play about Selma, Alabama. Okay. He was getting in Dr. King, in Abernathy behind, because the SCLC in Atlanta, Georgia was not sending the money to Selma to the people who was losing their job like they should have. Okay? You can't go to college and get this type of understanding of the voter rights movement.
You can't.
Right? I'm telling you. So what happened was they were mad. And so when FD Reese got thrown to the wolves, they were silent. The only reason why, and look, all this backbite always go on. But what I can say, the difference between Dr. King and backbiting and today's backbiting is that they still got the objective done.
Correct.
They still got it done. So what happened was, remember, Lyndon B. Johnson, March the 15th. Matter of fact, what's the day? It would have been yesterday. Today the 16th, ain't it?
Yeah, day 16th.
It would have been yesterday. Lyndon B. Johnson, in 1965, put it out there, said, I want a Voting Rights Act on the floor. They knew it was going to work. So these folks, FD Reese had 2 people on his, he had 2 major groups on his back. He had the racist white folks on his back, because now these black folks finna get this right, the Voting Rights Act finna pass. Then he had Dr. King and the SCLC and these other groups. He had Snick mad at him for inviting Dr. King. Hear me out. That's why John Lewis got kicked out of his group, because he wanted to continue to work with FD Reese and Dr. King. So Snick was mad at FD Reese for getting, so he had 3 of them, Jay. He had the racist white folks. He had Snick on his back. Then he had Dr. King there mad at him because he didn't agree to incorporate and make the Dallas County Voters League basically weak and at Dr. King's name mercy.
Correct.
So all them on his back. And so what they do when When them folks went out and said, you know, the state went out there and said, "Nah, you embezzling money," what black folks do? What Dr. King and them do? They turned their back. Until, this is why I got to give my props to J.L. Chestnut in Selma, Alabama. Until J.L. Chestnut got on national TV in Birmingham, Alabama, and said, if Dr. King don't come to, in the SCLC don't come to Dr. Reed's back, I am gonna subpoena the SCLC corporately and independently. They didn't want them books, so now J.L. Chestnut playing chess now.
Yeah.
He called them bluff. Even though he said we know we couldn't do that, but just by our public posture carried some weight.
That's right.
And just by them saying that made Dr. King come down to Selma, Alabama and get my grandfather out of jail and made sure that his defense team, his defense got paid for. But the whole time, F.D. Reese didn't settle out.
Correct.
He didn't buckle to the pressure. See, this is why when we talk about F.D., man, F.D. Reese is something. And remember, even after all that, when Dr. King then left, remember they were gone. He was still fighting that case. They went in Selma when he was fighting that case.
You were fighting case in July.
Yeah, no, October.
October, yeah. October. He was arrested in July, fighting in October.
Fighting the case October, the end of 1965. They were gone.
Yeah.
And then down there, F.D. Reese had to continue to deal with them racist white folks in Selma, Alabama.
And the black folks that turned their back on.
They turned their back on. The Marie Foster is the only one. Well, they tried to get Marie Foster to get on the stand and go against F.D. Reese, and she stood her ground. And she's saying they just using Reverend Reese to stop a black movement. And it's a shame. And he got found not guilty of all charges. That's how you stand on your loins. That's why I tell people. This is why MJ, when Granddaddy said, he meant this when he said, stand with your loins gut up out with truth. Stand with the breastplate of righteousness. Stand with your feet sharpened with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And after you done all, you stand, because he knew after Dr. King turned his back on him, John Lewis then turned his back on him, Snick turned his back on him, Selma turned their back on him. All he had was grandmama and his kids at home. When everybody turned their back on him, guess what? He still stood for what was right.
Tough man, dog. Tough man. And look, like you said, hold on, before we go any further, I got to give a shout out to my 7th grade teacher. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what's going on. This is my 7th grade teacher. She just retired a couple of days ago. She was the superintendent of Newton County Schools. When I tell you, we can look, I might have to have her on here and we can tell you our connection.
That's right.
How all of this came in. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Proud
yeah, Miss Fury. It's man, but she said it. Now I'm gonna publicly say this.
Yeah, I know you finna go.
I'm about to publicly say this. Miss Fury told us. See, look at all this. Yeah, hold on. I want y'all to see this. Love you, know we love you too. Okay, so Miss Fury told us that when her daughter did a project on Granddaddy when she was in middle school. Miss Fury told us, when I retire,
was in what? Outback Longhorn.
Yeah, we was in Outback Longhorns. When I retire, and when my daughter graduates, I am all yours. Meaning, we gonna have the Frederick D. Reese Foundation. Now I don't know. I haven't made the call. I haven't. Look, now this documented. You see this, right? She says, "I remember." So this is what we gonna do. She said, "Indeed, we're gonna give you some time to celebrate."
That's right. That's right. Give us time to rest.
Look, if you need anything for us, we're gonna come celebrate with you. Have a big party. But yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we're gonna give you a call, Miss Fury. Yeah, Miss Fury, my 7th grade English teacher. Y'all don't understand. I went. It was Chapel Hill Junior High then.
That's right.
Miss Fury had my back. I will have her on here. She said, "I'm still working." I know you still gonna be. It ain't gonna never stop with you. Miss Fury had my back. Then later on, I did not know her husband was my supervisor because I didn't know Bill's last name at the time. I called him Bill. I called her Miss Fury. When I found out his last name, I already understood what time it was. I see why they are married.
That's right.
Because both of them are one of the two they are of the Caucasian community, but they are like auntie and uncle. Listen, they are one of the most grounded Caucasian, fair, big-hearted people I know. Point blank, man. And that's just real.
That's
Both of them.
that's an understatement.
I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, that's right.
But on separate occasions,
That's right.
we're gonna get them on to tell the story. It's crazy. But yeah, congratulations to Miss Fury, man. The work you did and that you're gonna continue to do is yeah, amazing, outstanding. And we look forward to having you right there with us. I'm gonna say that and proudly. Yeah. Yeah, love you and your family very much. You know we love y'all too. But yeah, bro. Granddaddy, tough
Right.
guy. And speaking of Miss Fury and Bill, it's crazy. I call her Miss Fury and him Bill, but that's just how that's
Yeah.
you know. But they met Granddaddy and Granddaddy
That's
always
right.
had high praises and our family always
That's
had
right.
high
Granny
praises.
came down to her daughter's school.
That's right.
She did that project.
And I still had an
Mhm.
article, newspaper in my box upstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a connection, man. That's for life. Um, it's for life. But you're right, bro. Granddaddy went, fought the charges. Um, he beat all charges. He went all the way through the court case. And you're right, Miss Marie Foster stood up to him, and Attorney J.L. Chestnut said the same people that wouldn't even speak to Granddaddy.
Mm-hmm.
He won and beat the case. They was coming up
Yep.
trying to
The day before, they wouldn't even say nothing to him.
they wouldn't say nothing to him.
The lone wolf.
And so I want to put in perspective, I'll be candid and I'll be completely honest. I think I want to thank everyone that had a hand in getting FD Reese Day. Miss Fury said he received the superintendent's
That's
corner
right.
at our board meeting. That's 100% right.
That's right.
100% right. So yeah, it crossed the board, man. But I want to say thank you to everyone that got from the Reese family to everyone that was involved that got an FD Reese Day in Selma. It was long overdue, which everyone says. But we're gonna push more. We're gonna push for more, because he deserves more. Even when we do our tours, I promise you, I'm not saying this just to say this. When we do our tours and we go to the bottom of the bridge, and God rest their soul, is murals and cement murals of John Lewis,
Joseph E. Lowry,
Joseph E. Lowry,
Marie Foster.
Marie Foster, Amelia Boynton.
Uh-huh.
I promise you, the first question they asked us is,
Where's your grandfather?
"Where's your grandfather?"
Mhm.
I promise you.
And
After we take them on that tour, and we tell them everything, and we show them, and we put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
But let's be honest, MJ, and Selma. We talk about FD Reese, but all of the Courageous 8 members should be down there.
100%. 100%.
And this should happen swiftly.
Swift, ASAP.
All of the Courageous 8 members should be down in that memorial, that bridge.
All of.
Without those individuals, you do not have a 1965 Voting Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about groups, we talk about SCLC, SNCC, but y'all omit the Dallas County Voters League.
Omit it.
And without them, you don't have the SCLC. Look, the Courageous 8 solidified Martin Luther King legacy.
Say that with your chest, man.
That's just the Courageous 8 in Selma, Alabama, solidified Martin Luther King. Remember this: the NAACP could not; they were banned from practicing in Selma in 1956.
That's right.
These are facts.
Yeah.
It was the Dallas County Voters League. Without the Voting Rights Act, Martin Luther King did some great things, but that is the thing that solidified his legacy.
That's what we always there. It always gonna go. It's always planted in the American democracy. It's planted.
It's always planted there. Let's go further. The 1965 Voting Rights Act started and laid the concrete for Senators, House of Representative John Lewis.
Correct.
The Courageous Eight solidified and allowed a man that was born in 1961 on August the 4th,
That's
who we know as Barack Hussein Obama,
correct.
to become the first Black president of these United States.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Courageous Eight, the board of directors of the Dallas County Voters League, for the work that they put out in the concrete they laid in the individuals and the groups that they invited to Selma, Alabama.
Come on.
That solidified these groups that has monetized the movement and become millionaires through the movement, and have gone all over the world and talked about the movement and the contribution of their families and their selves around the world. I'm sorry, I keep going, bro.
No, go. Now, I know, bro. But I want to let them know why we're so passionate and why we are so resilient in getting the Courageous Eight and the Dallas County Voters League and their story out there. And I'm gonna tell you personally, the main reason why is because when you go to Selma, a great percentage of people don't know who the Courageous Eight is. A great percentage of the people don't know who the Dallas County Voters League is. A great percentage of people, they show up at the Jubilee like they did a couple of weeks ago, and they march across the bridge with whoever president they trying to come in and try to use Selma as the holy ground of the voting rights. And they take the photo ops and they barricade them off. They come to the bridge and they do an about face and they turn around and go home and they forget about Selma. And let's be honest, when it came to the mentions, the notoriety, when it came for you the time to give people their credit, the local people of Selma are the people that's supposed to get the recognition, because that's why we felt a certain type of way. When you want to name that bridge after John Lewis, the people of Selma and us, we were right there in the front saying, you better not. If you're gonna name it after one person, we know what person needs to name. But if we said the Courageous Eight Bridge, the Foot Soldiers Bridge, something of that nature, because the movement has overlooked the most important and pivotal people in the movement,
bro. It's just not the move. We in Atlanta, man. You got to get a book called by Dr. Maurice Hopkins. It's called Black Mecca.
Black Mecca. That's right.
Listen to me. There's a book that you got to read. Now, the what happened in Selma, Atlanta, Georgia benefited way more than anybody else, because without the 1965 Voting Rights Act, you don't have a man called Maynard Jackson.
Correct.
First Black mayor of Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
It started the Black Mayor Alliance.
Come on, bro.
And created the Black city, what we call Atlanta, Georgia. That started in Selma, Alabama, bro. And it walked down 80, went up 65 a little bit, turned down, went up 85 north, came right through town in Atlanta, Georgia. Listen, bro. Selma, Alabama, the Courageous Eight needs to be known, if not more, than the SCLC and SNCC put together.
It should be no reason why Mr. Doyle, why they are fighting to get a name, a street name.
Franklin Street should be named Mr. Doyle Street tomorrow. I asked Mayor Perkins, I will ask the city council to reach in your heart, and let's get that done. Mr. Doyle was the vice president of the Dallas County Voters League, and he was also the enforcer. He did not play.
He didn't play.
So just as we give FD Reese's props, you gotta understand that every member of the Courageous Eight should have a street named after them in Selma, Alabama. Easy. Let's start educating these people, because these kids stay on the street. They go and they Google these streets' name, and they'll see, man, who is Ernest Doyle?
Who's Ernest Doyle? Ulysses Black.
Ulysses Black. Who is that?
Who's that?
Oh, wow, from Selma? He did this.
Right.
Come on, MJ.
Like you say, honestly, bro, when we go around and people don't know who to see, and I got to say this, Selma is my heart. Yeah, it's there. Some of my heart there. It is Selma. Selma got to take some of the blame with it, though. Selma has to take some of the blame with
There's
it.
a new generation coming up in Selma, I must say.
Yeah,
There's
Selma
a new
got to take.
generation coming
It's
up
a
in
new
Selma.
generation, and we let y'all know now. Next year, FD Reach Day, we marching across the
Across
bridge.
the bridge. So I'm
Letting y'all
inviting right now CNN. I'm inviting Fox. I'm NSB, whatever. All the news.
know.
All of you. I'm inviting.
You bring TMZ, all them.
We TMZ, the Breakfast Club. All y'all invited. Selma, Alabama, because truth is going to be told. Because guess what? One thing Selma has, we have tourism,
Mm-hmm.
and Selma can have a great economy off tourism
Alone,
alone.
correct.
That can carry that city, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for us to take our power back.
Right, you
Biden,
100%.
when Biden and them come speak, they need to be talking about FD Reese,
Mm-hmm.
Amelia Boynton, Marie Foster, Reverend Hunter, Shannon, Blackman, Doyle.
Right.
They need to be speaking about them. I don't want to hear John. We know John Lewis got hit at the bridge. I'm talking about some folks in Selma, Alabama, bro,
Right.
who
Right.
move mountains.
Right.
Who move mountains when folks are still getting harmed
Mm-hmm.
and weren't afraid.
Correct.
That's the folks I'm talking about.
And then and it makes it tough on the tourists because we know we do tourism, and of course we do tourism, and a few other people we know, but it makes it difficult sometimes because you have to tell the story that has not been told.
That's right.
And so what happens is it stagnates because if everyone knew the story, if we would get the story right, then it would make it easier for the people that come seeking the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It will make it easier because every time we open our tune, we ask, "Well, what do you know about Selma?" Everyone says the bridge. That's it.
That's it.
There has not been one person that has said they know more than the bridge, and if they do, they know John Lewis, the bridge. Of course,
That's
they
it.
know MLK,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's it.
anything about Selma,
They don't know.
they don't know.
They thought they saw the movie and they answered their question. They ain't answered nothing,
That's right. That's right.
and it's just real talk, man. It's just, we got to do a better job, man.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do a better job with telling the story of Selma, Alabama. And it starts with being truthful about the Courageous Eight, which are the
Mm-hmm.
board of directors of the Dallas County Voters League.
Right.
And then,
Like
you still got some other hitters out there, man. You still got L.L. Anderson. You still got
correct.
Fred Shuttlesworth, man. He was a
Correct.
preacher. That's the person my grandfather looked up to, with Fred
Right.
Shuttlesworth.
Fred Shuttlesworth. That's right. That's right.
That's real talk.
And if you go into Selma and start talking to people and you get the real story, then you'll understand, okay, how did Dr. King come in January and March the 21st, they started the first leg of the Successful March.
Right.
So you talking about a little over 60 days. No, it didn't happen over
It
60
didn't
days.
happen.
It was years.
You got to go back to 1950. Let me tell you something.
Yes,
L.L. Anderson. L.L. Anderson was that man.
That's right.
He was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they tried to railroad him, but he was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't always F.D. Reese.
And you know the last tour.
Fred was that guy.
You remember the last tour we did was last weekend. They said, "Oh man, we can listen to y'all talk for hours." And what it is because the pieces of the puzzle, bro. That's basically what it is, man. The pieces of the puzzle. Why we have one of the best things in our nation now is the vote, and for people to come, we have had people come from Spain, Chicago, Philadelphia. We got a family of 12 coming next month. It's all over the nation, but the people in Selma don't do it. And you know why? Because they don't even know the goal that they living in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know it, bro. So
Where's our
yeah,
job?
it's our job. It's our job. Put some respect. Cause we just not trying to get and let's keep it a buck. Granddad, outside of when you talking about, let's just talk about notoriety. When you talk about MLK, John Lewis, but when you want to talk about voting, I think out of Selma, Granddaddy is the biggest story.
Mm-hmm.
That's just real.
Yeah,
That's just real. That's
Well,
real.
it's because of his professional career.
Right.
So
Right.
after the movie, it's the Dallas County Voters League. But the thing about it, Granddaddy went outside Dallas County Voters League and worked because
Exactly.
of the Teachers March.
Right.
It didn't have anything to do with the Dallas County Voters League.
Mm-hmm.
So, Granddad was able to move around outside of just that one group. And then
Correct.
his professional career. And then after he was able to attain the vote, he went into and became a city councilor.
Right.
Then he ran for mayor. And then he was a
Mhm.
pastor for 50 years and said a teacher for over 50 years. So
Right.
it's just his whole life was just about Selma.
And that's what that's
You know?
that's basically what I was saying when you look at it like that. But what I'm saying, and because he's in pictures with Dr. King and this, that, and the third,
Mhm.
well, some of the Courageous Eight wasn't, in the pictures or whatever. So what I'm saying is we are not just going in talking about FD Reese.
Mhm.
You got to understand, why? A part of that is because FD Reese was done wrong and not mentioned. So who are we to walk into those same doors
That's right.
and not mention the Courageous Eight,
Exactly.
not mention the Dallas County Voters League, not mention
J.L.
Anderson
Chestnut.
and JL Chestnut?
Ella
Who
Anderson.
would we be?
We mentioned them all.
All of them. Every tour. Every tour. This is what we do. We mention them all because who would we be to do the same thing that was done to our grandfather?
That's right.
It would be a disservice, not only to it's to our last name, man, but Granddaddy, he'll probably come down here and
To return in their grave. And then we having a walkthrough, but I put it out there yesterday on Facebook. I really want Mayor James Perkins,
Mhm.
Billy Young, Miss Lisa
Yeah.
James, Janet Thomas, Clay Carmichael. I want to see the city council and Mayor Perkins come to FD Reese home. I would
Yeah.
love to see this on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I want to give them a private tour
Yeah.
because it's a lesson in that time in the early 70s that I believe that the Selma city government can learn from today. Ain't pointing no fingers, no right or wrong.
Right.
It's my no policy. I
Mhm.
want to sit here and I want you to see something that I think that will resonate in your heart to make people come to the table to do what's best for Selma, Alabama, for the people, bro.
I'm gonna
Put it
say
out.
that's real. I'm gonna say what Miss Fear. She was my English teacher, y'all. So she coming with jewels. Selma and service before self. That's your grandfather.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
100%, man.
That's right.
100%. Service before self. Honestly, he would be like, my brother would really speak up and say, Granddaddy, what he would always say, they know what I did and God know
Know
what
what
I
I
did.
did, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I'm
But
like,
he
that
was
ain't enough, Granddad. Oh, only reason why he let me go, I was a grandchild. I think if I was a child, he would knock me on the floor. Because I was a grandchild and we gave him a sense of humor, I
right.
didn't get knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he like, Granddad, that's not good enough. Forget
That's
all
not
that.
good enough for me.
Miss
Look,
Spears,
Chris said, he said that to me.
said that to her. Man,
Hey, like Granddad, I said, Granddad, that sound good, but that ain't good enough. Hey. But you know what, man? What I would say, it was to remember those stories and have those conversations with him. I will
Yeah.
always cherish that.
Correct.
To be able to have those type of conversations.
Right.
Tell my granddad, this giant of a man, that ain't good enough.
Very good
So
enough.
he was looking at me like, who this boy think he is? He got
Yeah.
his food and all clean and stuff. And I'm saying,
Right.
granddad, that ain't good enough.
Good enough.
You gotta come with something better.
Yeah, but everything happens in divine order, man. And
That's right.
I truly
That's
believe
right.
that this is how it's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that
That's right.
because let's be honest, bro. Let's keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things we say, Granddaddy was watching the podcast. That's enough,
Like that's enough.
right?
I said, Grand, it's the truth. But that
Right,
day
but
I was in the room, man, I was telling him what happened with Snick. He said, boy, you've been doing some reading.
Yeah.
you know, they was really going in. I said, Granddad, I know what happened. They did you like this. He was like, that's enough. We gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk, we're gonna tell the truth. You walk in truth. And I used to hear Granddad with the word. You know, I go back to Granddad, you said stand for what is right. You told me that. If it's right, I stand, and I'm standing on the truth. So he'll look.
You know, Granddad,
He'll
don't be
get that look, you know.
yeah. 'Cause he always say, don't be looking around so he gonna stand.
Yeah,
Lead.
yeah, lead. Yeah.
But Granddad,
Make
this
a
is
decision.
right.
When
Right.
that's my decision.
Yeah, he said, always stand for what is right, even if you must stand alone. He said, remember, even the darkest of days, there will always, there will
Yeah,
always be light.
that's right.
He
That's
said,
him.
that's him.
Every night that comes a day.
Every day.
Ain't never
Ain't
seen
seen
it fail yet.
fail yet. That's right. And
Think
so,
about it, bro. When Martin Luther King and turned their back on him, man, that was night, bro.
so that was long nights there.
That was long nights. Thinking,
Mhm.
look, facing years now.
Right,
Embezzlement, them felonies.
right,
During that time,
right,
you can't teach no more, none of that. MJ, that's why he can say ain't never seen it fail yet.
right.
Long nights. Granddad was going through that, and he our age.
Come
He
on,
was,
man.
he was 36. He was a year younger than me. 35, 36.
Listen, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100. I probably would have flipped some tables in
Yeah, man, I would have to come see about somebody.
there.
Y'all out here got me out here.
Man, y'all got me out here.
Hey, man, you know my temper. You know, I've came a long way with my temper.
Right.
And it's under control. But it wouldn't have been in control then.
Right.
It wouldn't have.
Right.
You know? Come
Right.
on.
And
So he know about standing on the word of God, standing on
100%.
truth and what is right.
That's right.
Just like
man.
those men. They did not, you were talking about earlier, they didn't settle. They didn't take a felon. They said, I am innocent.
I'm innocent.
And they were prepared to spend the rest of their life in jail, all being innocent and not
Correct.
settling. And look,
Correct.
even though it took all that time, look, now they're free.
Mm-hmm.
So are you willing to stand on truth, even if it's gonna give up some of your life, some time, bro?
Because
Because
you
a lot
gotta
of people gonna settle and say,
think
I
about it,
ain't
bro.
do it, but I want to be free, so I'm gonna sell out.
Think about it, bro. The first 8-9 months of 1965, Granddaddy probably went through the hardest time in his life that a lot of us couldn't bear in 5 years.
No,
You gotta think Selma booed him. He got his back turned on him.
that's
He got
right.
locked up countless of times within
He
that
lost the
span.
job.
Lost his job. I mean, come on, man. Like,
Then he got embezzlement. I don't think he didn't lose with his family.
that's it. And remember, that's the one. Remember, they asked him that too.
And that's the one thing they asked, and they said, asked him, when you went through all that, what kept you going? He said that I would have not made it through that if it wasn't for my wife, Aline C. Reese.
Come on, man.
If it was not for his wife, Aline
That's
C. Reese.
that's
Look at
real.
that, bro. That's why you need to find your right mate now.
Come on now.
When you go through something, you better believe.
Yeah, you gonna
Gonna need them.
gonna need him.
Hey,
But
so
see, grandma different than granddad. Granddad would told us that's enough. See, grandma one of the sweetest ladies I know. But when we talked, keep going.
yeah. Yeah, 'cause, she always said, Frederick was somebody. He didn't
Right,
play about Selma. He didn't play about his people.
right,
You know, he
right.
was, man.
Grandma, she watch all the time, man. It's a joy to have her
Yeah.
watching.
And she'll be at FD Reach Day.
Be FD Reach Day.
She'll be
Yeah,
down in Selma, man.
yeah. Grandma 92.
92.
92, man.
She
So
just got home from Walmart. Still chuckling on.
yeah. Yeah, so yes,
Another
it's
person before we leave, man.
yeah.
Another person that let me know how real Granddaddy was, and they try to omit him from history, is Hosea Williams.
Give it to
Hosea
me.
Williams is the one that told me
Mm-hmm.
since I was 14 years old, man, make sure your grandfather finishes his book.
Yeah,
Because he wasn't scared like those other preachers. You can imagine what he said.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
Jose
But
Cup.
but at the end of the day, Hosea Will was a real one
Mm-hmm.
in his life. The
Mm-hmm.
things he said about how he felt Jesse Jackson had lied,
Right.
and they omit him because of that.
Mhm.
That's why they almost exiled Hosea Williams when he was
Yeah.
the enforcer of the movement, man. He was a smart man. He was a chemistrist, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he was very intelligent. He was a war veteran. And they try to omit him from that march when he was the one who led that Bloody Sunday march. And as
Right.
my platform grow, the world gonna know that. It
Mm-hmm.
was Hosea Williams who
Mm-hmm.
led that march. Not only was he in the front line, he's the one that came up with the logistics of that march. So the walk that they take every year from Brown's Chapel across that bridge, that came out of Hosea Williams.
That's right.
Come on, man. Come on.
Right. Y'all, and be honest, we are going to start planning events where we can share this history. We can sit down and talk to anybody, get questions. People have advised us to do that. So down the line, man, we're going to do things like that. Hopefully, we can bring my daddy, because my daddy now
Oh man, boy, he
now
goes.
we have dates.
Mm-hmm.
We got them locked.
Yeah.
Teachers March, January 22nd, 19. We got all that locked. But if you want to hear true stories from a person that was in the city council meetings once the Voting Rights Act had passed,
With the
and then
Ku Klux Klan coming in suited and booted.
right,
You got to hear
my
these
dad,
stories.
my dad has literal stories. He remember the FBI coming to the house telling granddad he was on the hit list. He remember going to city council meetings and the Ku Klux Klan was coming in suited and booted trying to get permits and
And
things
hold
like
on,
that
and still courageous eight members were speaking up at the council meeting.
at the council meeting.
Reverend Hunter, you got to hear that. Tell that story.
You
Man. We're
got
gonna
to
get him
see.
on one day. He
We
got to
Yeah,
tell that story.
you
Y'all
got
gonna
to tell
roll,
this. Yeah,
roll,
and
boy.
and a lot of stuff when he said he knew that that car was gonna blow up sometimes when him and granddad would lead them meetings because granddaddy didn't play, man. You know what I'm saying? He was fair, but he was stern, and everyone knew that, and everyone respect him to this day for that. So we are really going to as a family see if we can come up with some things what we can do, where we can sit down. Maybe we can host some events, bring up copies of some of the artifacts, and show people and things of that nature. So because the main objective is to get our whole journey since 2017, when granddaddy gave bro the legacy, said, I give you all rights and privilege to it, and bro called me. Ever since 2017, our main objective is to get granddaddy's name in his rightful place where it needs to be by any means necessary. We
Enemy.
have come up with different creative ways to do it, and it's not stopping. Books, tours, music, mascots, whatever it takes. And along coming with FD Reach, best believe it's the Courageous Eight, the Dallas County Voters
That's
League,
right.
and every other person that was really instrumental in that movement in Selma, in the local leaders. So that's our mission. And we any way anyone can help. That's why I said, Miss Fury, we coming for you. Any way anyone can help. uh, we have a school to speak at tomorrow. Our schedule is getting full, but we love it.
That's right. We
Shout out
asked
to
for it.
our team. Shout out to our team: Angel, Charlene, Kim, Francis Reese, Marvin Reese Sr., Sharif.
Sharif.
Who I'm missing? Us two. Miss Fury, she on the advisor board. We finna put some miles on that on her advisement. Yes, I'm in. Y'all see this documented. Our mother, our father,
That's right.
Shalonda, the president of the foundation.
That's right.
And our team is growing, even with the juveniles, the people we speak to. Shout out to Aunt and Simone, Mr. Darrell. It's growing, and we love it. So we appreciate y'all being on this journey with us.
That's right.
And I promise you, ain't nothing gonna change about us. I stamp that. It's nothing gonna change.
And we like FD. We unbossed and unbought.
Promise you.
Unbossed,
Promise you.
bought, but
And it's a privilege to be able to do this full time now and work in the legacy of the Reese name. And
I would say this, man, on next Tuesday. I know it's not nationally known, but throw it on your Facebook. Happy FD Reese Day.
yeah, let's do that.
March
Hashtag that.
21st. Hashtag that.
Yeah,
FD Reese Day. March 21st.
yeah. Let's
Hey,
do that.
simple
Let's
as
do
that.
that. So we appreciate y'all, Miss Fury. You know we love you. You already know what time it is.
Congratulations
Um,
again.
Yeah, congratulations again on a job well done.
Job well
My wife was reading Miss Fury bio the day. Matter of fact, and I say this, Miss Fury, we were talking about you the day before we heard about your
You
retirement.
time the show was, Jay.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy, man. And Charlene was reading all this stuff. I'm like, Miss Fury wasn't playing.
Mhm.
So yeah, we already know what time it is. You're just walking in her purpose. We already know,
Right.
and that's how she was born to do. So please join us FD Reese Day. If y'all in Selma, come by, say what's up. Grandma gonna be there, take a picture. It's all good. We giving out things to the community. We know that the tornado hit Selma January 12th. So on this day, we're not having a big celebration. We are being of service to the community in true FD Reese spirit.
That's right.
So that is what we are doing. So come by the house. They blocking Eugene off. They blocking that street off for
We
us.
Foster to Eugene, yeah.
We foster to Eugene. And so we'll be out there. Y'all come out, say what's up to us, and let's do it. Anything else before I go? Am I missing something? Because I know I can miss stuff.
No,
We
sir.
good. Next year we're gonna be there. Yeah, Miss Fear. Next year we walk across the bridge too. So yeah, we'll talk and get everything squared away. So we appreciate y'all. We'll see. I have a board meeting on 21st. Okay, nice. We'll see y'all next Thursday.
That's right.
We're gonna bring back the Zoom calls, the Missing Voting Rights project Zoom calls. We just been doing on Tuesday. We've been doing some things. But other than that, man, we appreciate y'all. And if y'all in Selma, we'll see y'all Sunday. And y'all have a great weekend.
Peace out.